In the decades preceding the Civil War in the 1860s, a nefarious force had taken root in Washington, D.C., from the halls of Congress to the U.S. Supreme Court to the White House. That force was what contemporaries and modern historians call the slave power, or the slave oligarchy. Throughout the early 19th century, this slave oligarchy, white slave owners of the antebellum South, exerted power of the federal government to expand slavery westward, ensure the capture and return of runaway slaves from the North, and push the Supreme Court in the infamous Dred Scott decision to extinguish any perceived rights afforded to black Americans within the Constitution. But in the 1850s, something changed. A new political party emerged with a mission to upend this slave oligarchy, the Republican Party, specifically its abolitionist wing, the Radical Republicans. The Radical Republicans successfully abolished slavery because, unlike previous political parties, they were willing to fight for it, willing to use any and all political measures at their disposal to dismantle the slave oligarchy, root and stem. In 2025, and the preceding several decades, the Republican Party has betrayed its founding. The modern GOP, led by President Donald Trump and his socially corrosive MAGA movement, has fortified a new oligarchy, one headed by a handful of billionaires, Trump himself included, that has decimated the social safety net, exacerbated wealth inequality, and minimized the incomes and quality of life among working-class people. Unfortunately, the opposition has left much to be desired. In the past decade, as the MAGA movement has taken hold over the Republican Party, the Democratic Party has largely resigned itself to hollow platitudes and a misplaced loyalty to norms, ones that the modern GOP has hardly ever pretended to respect. To upend this modern oligarchy, there must be, as was the case with the Radical Republicans in the 19th century, a political movement that is willing to fight against this force. That means new faces and a change of leadership within the Democratic Party. Democrats can achieve this if they show themselves willing to fight this billionaire oligarchy that has aided and abetted this descent into fascism and authoritarianism under Trump and the MAGA movement. But to find that success, the party must commit itself to an equitable vision for this nation, this state, and this community, a future where a handful of billionaire oligarchs do not dictate public policy. That requires a new guard willing to form an actual opposition, willing to stand for those ideals, willing to fight for that future until it is our present.